Are we live yet?
Yeah, we're live.
What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I am suffering tonight, man. Could not get some sleep. I was gonna cancel the show tonight, but I said, damn it. We should always be able to talk. So you gotta keep the platform open for discussion, man. I think it's important. So
Let me ask you
gotta
a
keep
question.
shoot.
How you doing today?
I just told you, I'm
I
tired,
know you're
bro.
tired, but this is me checking on you, making sure you're good
Yo,
and stuff like this. And that's all.
that that is sweet, man. That is real sweet. How about you? How you doing, man? You need a hug today?
I do, I need like 3 hugs.
Man, I got you. I got you. First chance, soon as COVID is over, I'm gonna hug the shit out of you.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to
I bet you are.
that. All right. Guess what, Rick?
What?
The daily chat starts now.
Welcome back to That's So Controversial. Today is Daily Chat number 44, and I'm your man Rick, joined today with the yawning man, Kyle Graham.
What's up, Rick?
I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I couldn't get no sleep, man. I've been up for almost 24 hours, man. And so it is what it is. What's going on, everybody? Eddie, Motivation, Mommy Flo, thank you guys for showing up. You guys rock. You guys make my day. You guys are the reason that I drag myself to the PC every day. Talk some of this hot stuff. Hot stuff. Today's hot topic. Today's hot topic is mental health. You guys asked for it. It is here. So I am looking forward to a lively conversation with you guys talking
Oh,
about mental
really?
health. Yeah. Well, yes.
I'm just trying to get through it, man.
I feel you. I feel you. What's going on, press? Appreciate you, man. So, mental health, do you think it's important? Do you think that it gets enough attention? Do you think it's something that we need to incorporate more into our daily lives?
To answer your first question, mental health does not get enough attention. I think now more than ever that our mental health is at risk. It's taken a hit. It's taken a huge hit. All of us, man. We've had like a dramatic change in our livelihood and the way we do things and the way we operate. So mental health is really important more now than ever. So
Oh,
that's my take on
absolutely.
it.
All right, cool, man.
And that's why I
Appreciate that.
asked you how you was doing today. I think that goes a long way, man. Asking somebody how they doing.
Yo, that's real right there. That's wow. That's so important, man. Just taking a moment to check in on your fellow brother and sister, man, making sure that they're all right, man. Because
Yeah.
sometimes people just need. I mean, just being able to listen to somebody goes a long way, man. And I
Yeah.
know I'm always lending an ear out. So if any one of you guys ever need to talk for whatever reason, man, you guys have my number. Give me a call. I am open, and I pride myself on being a great listener. So hope you
Yeah.
guys are doing fantastic during these COVID times, man. Staying home drives a lot of people crazy. A lot of people lost a lot of stuff like their livelihood, their businesses, their relationships, friendships, wives, husbands, everything.
Yeah. It's been tough. It was a tough year. Um, and it's just crazy, man. And it's like right now it's like the perfect storm for people who deal with mental health to 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 suffer. Because because the isolation thing, and it's the isolation, and you know, you really don't have the same support system that you would normally have on a regular day, on a regular basis. So I think it's very important that we check in on each other. You know.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So even Press One has a really good point here, man. Isolation is a big issue due to COVID-19, leading to depression and other mental illnesses such as anxiety. I agree
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah.
100%, man. It's tough. It's tough out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this question real quick. Do you think that there's a stigma to mental health? Like, do you think that people don't get more regular checkups because of the way people are going to view them? You think that there's a negative stigma to seeing a psychologist or something like that?
Or psychologist or therapist. I think there may have been, but I think that's slowly changing. I think that mental health is extremely important. I honestly think that we all should see someone, um, even if you're going through something, because sometimes you may be going through something you don't even know it, and just to have somebody to talk to, that's and not put that burden on a friend, because I look at it like this: I don't want to burden you with my problems, because if you're my, because sometimes like for me, if my friends tell me their problems, I kind of take on their problems, so it kind of adds stress to my life sometimes because I care about this person and they're stressing. So I
Mhm.
think seeing someone who can be objective, I'm subjective to it, and just totally like there's no connection there. They just
Right.
give you hardcore facts, or straight up opinions about how they feel about what you're saying.
But I think what where the stigma comes into play is that people don't want to seek this help because of the way it's going to affect their record, their ability to seek employment. Because if you let's say you go to a doctor, right? Let's say you're feeling suicidal for whatever reason,
Hmm.
right? And you go and seek professional help for this, right? Now that's on your record, and if someone decides to look into your history and it could affect your ability to find employment, just like in the police academy, you got to go through a psychological evaluation.
I'm not sure. I don't know about that, Ray. I don't think that because your medical health is private.
Mm,
Unless it's pertaining to a job. I can't
exactly.
see HIPAA. I can't see them violating your things like that. I don't see it. Maybe I didn't do the research on it, but I don't think they can do that. I don't think because like right now, if I was to go get help, private, see if I was to see a private
Mm.
a therapist, that's not on anybody's record. I'm paying for it out of my pocket. That's that. You know.
If you try to be a police officer anywhere across the country, that's information that they use to evaluate you. You have to go through a psychological evaluation, and all the police departments work
No,
together with that information.
well, you're talking about in one specific. That's one specific job.
Right.
I mean, I don't think there's anybody up here that's a police officer. Well, I don't know. Anyways, anyways, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's. I think the stigma is that people think that you are a mess because you seek help.
Right.
The employment thing, I guess it could be, if you're in that field, but you're going to go through your own psychological. Yeah, yeah. Your medical record is private. A therapist can discuss it unless you're going to a job where you have to take a psych evaluation. That's not your private therapist. That's the jobs therapist who's going to evaluate whether you're fit for duty. So I think
Right.
those are two totally different things. Me going to see a private therapist shouldn't be between me and my therapist. You know.
Right.
So, but to answer your question about the stigma, I don't think. I think that the stigma is that you know. I think that we don't know we need help until it's
Literally
too
too
late.
late. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all should see a therapist, and like I said, I think we all should see it.
Yeah, you made a good point about that last time we had this discussion off camera that just like we go make physicals every so
Yeah,
often, annual visits to make sure that our physical health is good, we should do the same thing with our mental health. We should go see a psychiatrist every couple of months and
yeah,
just make sure everything is all right.
yeah,
Sometimes it's good to get that outside opinion, because you might not even know you're going through something, but
yeah,
a psychologist is trained to find the keywords and your body language and stuff like that. So you might not even know you're going through a depression.
yeah. And yeah, I think it's key, man. I think it's you know, I think I told you this before. It's like sometimes when things are wrong, the hardest part and what make things worse is acting like things are not wrong.
Yes.
When things like you put on this front to be fine and and everything's okay. However, you're really going through it, and that kind of adds stress to the situation itself.
I think a lot of people navigate their lives like that,
Yeah,
and I have to say, like I've done that a lot.
yeah. We all have.
Whenever,
I feel
yeah,
like we
when I'm
all have.
Yep, when you're going through something really, really tough, and you just try to, I guess, for lack of a better term, man up and just
Yeah,
put on a smiley face for the rest of the world because, like you said earlier, you don't want to burden anyone with your issues, with what
hmm,
you're going through. So, I get it, man.
yeah. and and I feel like when you see a therapist, it's the judgment free zone, right? The
Right.
judgment free. You see when your friends and well, I mean, I'm not saying none of our friends do this, but you don't want to hear
Right.
that come up in another conversation. Something you
Mhm.
tell them, in private or something that you're expressing yourself. Um, and I really think that um, we all should see someone, you know, we all should see someone. And there are a lot of resources out there, free resources as well, to for people who need them. Maybe we can post it in the chat or whatever.
That's dope. If you find something, let me know.
Hmm.
I'm gonna post a link real quick. Hold on. Feel free to join the conversation. Give me 2 seconds.
He's trying to extend He's trying to extend his episode. I see. Hmm.
No, I'm tired just like you.
He's trying to extend this
No, it's
episode.
just
I
that
see.
I keep forgetting about this component of the show.
Uh,
You
uh,
know,
okay.
yeah, if you
Hmm.
gotta go, you gotta go. Yeah,
Yeah.
on
So,
the mic now.
yeah.
And that's all, folks.
Yeah, man. So,
But
what do you think? Do you think that Do you think that would you rather see? Would you feel more comfortable? Just you and I talking here. Would you rather feel more comfortable talking to a friend, or would you rather talk to a stranger about your issues?
it depends because at the end of the day, you know who your friends are, and I mean, not a lot of people can take your information, and not a lot of people like to hear your I think today in today's world, like people are a little more isolated. They keep to themselves, and they just don't like. How often do you get to talk to your friends, and you feel like they're actually listening to what you have to say? And it's not a
Uh,
knock. It's not a knock on anybody in particular. It's just like you ever talk to somebody and they'll yes you to death, and you can
they're listening to respond to you. They're listen. I'm sorry. They're listening to talk. They're not listening to hear you. I feel like to.
right,
It sounded way better in my head, but they're listening so they can respond to you. I
right.
don't get that vibe from you though.
No, never. I mean, me personally, when I take pride in my ability to listen to somebody or hear somebody's conversation and just like literally listen to them and offer the best advice that I absolutely possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we have Mr. Michael in the background who wants to join the conversation. Also, if you guys want to join the conversation, I added the link in the Facebook group and also in the YouTube group. So you guys just got to click the link, and if you don't want to show your video, you can join the conversation via audio. And welcome, Michael. How's it going, man?
What's going on, man?
So,
Well,
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on mental health, man? Do you think that it gets enough attention? It needs to be utilized more often. What's the story, bro?
Time
uh,
out. Wait. Before you answer that, what are you wearing, Michael?
oh, Long John's brother.
Long johns with a
I
shirt
clocked out of one job. I
and a
clocked
thing
out
over
of one
there.
job. I clocked out of one job and I started a second one.
The
Okay,
man's a hustler, bro.
looking like somebody's dad. That's all. All right.
Thank you, thank you. I am somebody's dad, brother. Here.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike.
I don't think it gets enough attention. Uh, uh, some people who have mental health issues, they're worried about people, you know, making fun of them, and so it's hard. Like when you have a mental health issue, to come out and say it because you don't, people are gonna label you crazy or something if they don't know, if they're not educated in whatever it is that you have. I could say that I do have a relative who has mental health issues, and she struggles with it. It's kind of like a personality disorder.
Wait.
And
I'm sorry. Are we talking mental health or mental disease at this point?
I think they both go hand in hand.
yeah,
I think there's a slight difference in both. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm listening to your story.
yeah. So that's what I think.
So all right,
As you can see before I forget, um, let just go for example to your around your neighborhood. You see some people with mental health issues that they can't get better because they don't have the funds to get treated.
resources.
Yeah,
Well,
the
it's funny.
resources can only go so far because at the end of the day, somebody has to take the get pay the cost.
Press one had made a good point about that earlier. He said most mental health treatments are covered by your health insurance.
Yeah, but if you don't have health insurance,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. I agree 100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different story.
All right. I have a question for both of you guys here. Right here. All right. Do you think there was a time in your life where you could have benefited from seeking professional help? And I guess did you do it, or why didn't you do it?
I could say yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
That's
mean, no,
I was
no, no,
waiting for the extended response.
no. You can. I mean, it's. I believe when it's something like that, it's real personal. Not everybody
Okay.
wants to disclose what it is that they were going through.
No, I get that. I'm just messing with Mike. I think we all have. Again, I keep saying this. I think we all have been there at one point and another where we should have gotten mental health. But we didn't know. We were ignorant to the resources. Like someone said, that a lot of the things that we need are covered by health insurance if you have it. If not, there are a lot of free resources there as well, to get that help. So I think we all have been there at one point. It's just a matter of how fast we bounce back from it.
Yep.
I think that's the difference between all of us.
Yeah, motivation consistency says he's been thinking about seeing the therapist because someone that I consider a father figure is going through something, and I'm really not coping with it well. So I would like to speak with someone about that. And he's actually talking about my dad.
Hmm.
Uh, my dad is going through stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he's on chemotherapy right now, aggressive chemotherapy, trying to prolong his life for as long as we can. And that's real, man. That's real because I was actually going through a little bit of that when my mom passed. She passed away 6 days after I had surgery for pancreatic cancer, and I never even got to tell her what I was going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I personally was going through a divorce, and also my mom passing away, and and also 2 years before that, my brother passing away. So it was a little tough on me, and never told anybody. I just went to the job, and nobody knew anything about it until right now, and you guys know about it. But yeah, I just pretty much kept to myself, and I really wish I didn't do that because it's hard when you're going through something and you can't, and you hold it up inside. You
yep,
bottle it up because it really doesn't do you any good. you know it does you
yeah,
more harm than good. And like I personally feel that for example, even with my divorce, by me talking to a friend about it, it's helping me cope with it because at the end of the day, yeah, it's done, it's all said and done, but you still, that was 12 years of my life, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, and it is tough because like I'm of the frame of mind that I'd rather share what I'm going through because I think that's part of the healing process for me. I think when you hold something in like that for a long period of time, it does more damage than any that type of good that you're holding. But when it came to my mom passing, a lot of my friends and family were already dealing with me struggling with the pancreatic cancer. So I felt like holding that in because I thought that was like a double whammy on a lot of my friends. It's like shit, he's already dealing with the cancer thing, and his mother died. So a lot of people didn't know that my mother died, and I didn't get a chance to go to her funeral. I didn't get a chance to see her buried. And like after a couple of months of building up, I broke down really, 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 really bad. And I was by myself and I was just like suffering alone, man. It's tough. So and it's I think it's so important to share the stuff that's bothering you with people who are close to you that you believe will really hear you out and just be there for you because sometimes just the cure isn't just being able to say it, to just get it off your chest. And I think there's healing power in that. Just being able to relieve yourself of that mental battle.
Yeah, for me, it's more like, it's nice to be able to tell somebody about it, but I want to tell somebody about it that really cares about, what I'm
Right,
going through, not just, oh, he's going through this. What can I do for him?
right.
So I'm sorry. First of all, Rick, I'm so sorry. Um, what you and your family are going through, and I spoke to you. Uh, I'm not gonna say often, but I spoke to you a good amount of time when you was going through everything you was going through, and
Right.
your spirits were really high, and that was it was really inspiring. Um, so I say that to say that you took it on and you wore it really well, and you had a really positive outlook about it. And remember we was doing the project together. While you was coming on the other end of it, and
Right.
we kind of had to dive back into a lot of stuff that you was going through. And I didn't know it when we was going through it, but because every time I spoke to you, you had such high spirits. It's like, oh, okay, it's nowhere near as bad. It's nowhere near as bad as it seems. But when we
Mm.
actually spoke about it, and you went into detail.
Yeah.
It was like you was smiling to me, and you was
Right.
talking and joking to me, but you was living through hell on the other side of that phone. So
Yeah.
you know
So
that so and Ghouls again, I was actually around when you kind of experienced what you experienced, and I think both you guys did a really good job at bouncing back, and you didn't, well, you showed it. I mean, I'm sorry, you perceived as being really really well and everything. So but I did want to make a quick note here.
mhm.
um so just for clarity, and I don't want us to be incorrect thing. So there is a difference between mental health and mental illness, right?
Okay.
So when you think of mental illness, think of things that um, it can be diagnosed.
Right.
Like a
Things.
dementia.
No, I'm more so in a behavior way. More so of depression, uh,
Bipolar.
anxiety, and things like that. Things that lead to that. Um, but mental health now is your ability to socialize with everyone, how you're doing in the mental state. Poor mental health can lead to mental illness. So just for that clarity, um, yes, that's all I had to say.
No, thanks for that
Yeah,
tidbit.
yeah,
Thanks for looking that up. Appreciate it.
yeah, yeah.
So I
So
guess with that bit of information, I guess would an eating disorder qualify as a mental health issue, or is that like a mental illness?
um, anything that can be diagnosed is mental illness. Mental health is your overall how you're doing. You know,
Okay, so
how
how you
you.
doing?
How you
Yeah.
doing?
That's what I said, how you doing?
So, but so yeah, that's that. But
All right. So besides depression, what are I guess what are other mental health issues that we could possibly
mental
be?
illness now. You're talking about mental illness.
No, no. Oh, depression is a mental illness.
Depression is a mental illness. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mental health is your overall well-being,
Okay.
how you're dealing with everything. So I can give you a list of mental illnesses if that's what you are seeking.
And
Forget about it.
for and I want to say thanks to all the love and support I'm getting in the comment section, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys, man. It was so you guys were there for me also, man. All of you guys. So you guys showed up. You guys sent text messages, phone calls. That's cool. Oh, we have Jocelyn in the background.
Do you want me
Join.
to answer this question real quick before
Yeah,
you?
yeah. All right, Jocelyn,
So
I'll put you in right after this.
some mental disorders are in. Sorry. So you have mental disorders are the anxieties, they include in panic disorders. You have depression, bipolar disorder, mood disorders, eating disorders, personality disorders, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Those are your disorders. So that's a little bit different from your illness, your health
Hell.
as well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that.
No problem.
All right. Well, welcome, Jocelyn. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Hi, how are you? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to piggyback on Kyle.
Hmm.
There is a very strong difference between diseases and just plain mental health. So, mental health is like your muscle, your brain, your leg, your prostate, any part of your body. You go to the doctor and you keep it. So, your mental health is just like a part of your body that you go to, usually your primary doctor, to get evaluated. You say, look, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling these emotions. And then that doctor will refer you to a professional,
Hmm.
a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Psychiatrist, usually it's someone that takes care of you medically, like medicine,
Hmm.
medication. A psychologist will be the one, or a therapist will be the one that has to sit there and talk to you, or you talk over your problems. You don't always need a therapist or a psychologist.
Hmm.
You, Ricardo, know me from a long time.
Right.
You were at our wedding.
Hmm.
16 years ago, we got married. A couple of months after you guys got married.
Hmm.
John got COVID 8 months ago.
Right.
And John saw his own mortality in a way where he thought he wasn't going to walk again and he
Oh
thought he was
wow.
going to die.
Damn.
So when I put John in the ambulance to go, I thought I wasn't going to see him again. Because remember, when you got COVID, you got in an ambulance, you went to the hospital, everybody thought that you weren't going to
It's
come back.
over. Yeah.
From that, John went through so much with his knees and his legs and the actual COVID situation that one morning he just got up and broke down. You know, this dude is it's almost 7 feet,
Yeah. It's a big dude.
300 pounds.
Hmm.
And he looked at me standing on the porch, getting ready to go to work, and he said, "I'm leaving. Sell the house, do whatever you want. I'm leaving you."
Wow.
And it took him a minute, and it took us about 3 weeks to figure it out. And John is going through therapy,
Hmm.
and I had to decide on my own that I needed therapy as well because I needed to know how to handle John.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know, but
It's
I'm glad.
and
I'm
it's
glad you guys are doing the right thing. Yeah.
absolutely, and it's stuff that we don't discuss with anyone. Even our friends don't know much about it because it's a lot to put on our friends that care
Right.
so much about us.
Hmm.
Um, but he is healing because he's talking through all that stuff that he went through for 8 months, thinking that he was going to die, thinking that he was going to leave me alone, without his support, without his care. And then
Yeah.
I needed to go and get therapy myself because I didn't understand where he was coming from. This man that gave his life for will give his life for me, that loved me to death, and all of a sudden he wants to leave me.
Hmm.
I needed to understand where all that was coming from as well. So absolutely, it is important for us, for anybody, to seek help whenever you're going through some difficult time. Because what mental health does for you is it provides you with the opportunity of healing and finding coping mechanisms that are healthy instead of you going into eating, binging, and drinking, or just alcohol abuse or drug abuse or prostitution and all that kind of stuff that makes you feel good immediately, as
Yep.
opposed to going and actually using tools that are healthy for you.
Yep. I'm guilty of going for the food whenever I'm going through some kind of depression. Like, and being a diabetic, there's stuff that I shouldn't be eating, but when I'm going through it, that's exactly what I go for. The stuff that can potentially put me back in the hospital, man.
So that's your mental health. if
Right.
you're not taking care of your mental health. The fact that immediately you go for food, knowing that you're not hungry. You're not
Exactly.
hungry. It's just a comfort that you're looking. And so you have gone through a lot. So have you seek to sit there and talk to someone?
Not professionally. I'll talk to my wife, or I'll talk to a friend and stuff like that. And I'd like to believe that I have a good grasp on it, but I think that's the lie that we tell ourselves sometimes.
One of the mistakes that we make sometimes is giving our wives, our significant others, our husbands, our friends this burden, this amount of information, thinking that it's you just releasing it to this person. But remember, you're releasing it to a person that loves you and cares for you.
Hmm.
The
That's what Kyle
person,
was talking about earlier.
exactly, the person that you give it to is a professional. They don't take it home with them. They know how to handle that and they leave it at the office. But your wife, on top of worrying about losing you or the stuff that you're going through, she has her own worries. And then she has to worry about Matt. She has to worry about her mother, her sister, her brother. She has a lot. So
Yeah,
we are responsible for our mental health. Just the way that when you get a headache, you take a pill. Just the way if you get cancer, immediately you go and get your chemotherapy, right?
absolutely.
So mental health is, I think it's one of the most important parts of you that you need to take care of.
I agree. That's why you guys wanted to have this conversation, and we definitely thought it was very important. And I'm glad that we're having this discussion, man. It opens the door to seeking that kind of help. 'Cause sometimes you need to hear it, that it's okay. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to say that you're not okay.
Absolutely. It's okay to say you're not okay.
You
And
know,
if there's someone out there that you feel that you have to be afraid of saying something like that, then that person shouldn't be in your life. Plain and
how so?
simple.
How do you mean?
If 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 you say to your friend, "Listen, I'm not okay. I need to go and see a psychiatrist. I need to see a psychologist." And that person feels that, you know, that stigma that comes with you telling a person that you're not well,
Right,
that
right.
person shouldn't be in your life.
All right, I get it. I
That
understand.
person should want the best for you. When you say I'm not well, those are flags that are saying that you need help.
Yep, absolutely. That's a really good point you brought up. You think that you ever give out any red flags, Kyle, that people didn't pick up on, or Mike, you think that there was ever a red flag that you maybe even subconsciously put out there, hoping that someone would see, the sign of help?
Well,
Oh,
some. I'm sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, go.
Um, the red flag is when you tell someone. For me, is when you tell someone something. First off, I agree with Josh. Like I said it earlier, I don't think you should be burdening your friends and family with that. With your issues because they care about you and they also have their own issues as well. But to your question, I think that when you're talking to someone and you say what you say, you tell them how you feel, and first they do is kind of they give you a quick response, oh yeah, whatever, and then they start talking about themselves. And I think that's a red flag, because you're not, this conversation is not about you. This
Right.
conversation is about me. I'm asking you for help and you made it about yourself. I think that will be a red flag. And I've taken note when I'm having a conversation with someone and I'm telling them something or if I'm expressing myself and they're kind of, yeah, 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 that's that. But,
It's terrible.
and it goes back to that and it happens. And sometimes people do it unconsciously, but I think that's something to look out for.
Yeah, Mike, you were saying?
I guess if you're somebody's friend, you would know that if they're acting out of the ordinary. Most people are very, um, reserved when they're experiencing certain things that they don't want to tell you. Like for example, with my kids, I try to encourage them to, like, if there's anything that they want to talk about, come talk to me. But I tell them that when things are good, so that they know when things are bad with them, that they could come to me and we could discuss whatever the problem is, you know.
Yeah, you guys really have me thinking now for a little bit because you guys say that you shouldn't really burden your friends with the stuff that you're going through. And what if that's one of the ways that you know you cope with it, by talking about it.
Well, for me, there's a difference between talking to your friend about a little spat that you had with your wife,
Mhm.
or just having conversations about some financial problems that you're going. Those are little things that we always talk with our friends.
Right.
But in my case, with I think that I was looking at divorce
Right.
without an explanation, without knowing what was going on. On
Mhm.
top of, I also have a daughter that suffers from mental illness, and she has depression and anxiety, and she has tried to commit suicide twice.
Oh, damn. Sorry to hear that.
So I was coping with that, and it's hard for me to go to my friend and say, "Listen, my daughter tried to commit suicide." It's
I
I
get it.
feel like it's
Yep.
and it's not an embarrassment because I've been friends with my best friend for almost 27 years.
Mhm.
It was like, I how do I say this to this person that loves me so much? So
Right.
immediately my instinct was, or my knowledge, because that's another thing. Some people don't know how to handle this.
This is true.
Was to take her to the doctor, and the doctor refer her to the psychologist, and we figure it out. For me, I was heartbroken when John decided that he wanted to leave, and I was in so much pain that I didn't call my sister. I didn't call um, my friend. I immediately went and looked for a therapist, a
Right.
licensed therapist that can help me through the stuff that I was going to go through, because I knew that if I was going to go through a divorce after 16 years, married to my best friend,
Mhm.
that I was going to need help. And my friend can be there to listen to me through the little things, but my friend was not going to be able to provide me with the tools that I needed to deal with this big monster that was coming my way.
Right.
So there's a difference between you talking to your best friend about what you're going through, what you're feeling, but and seeking actual professional help to help you with the long term stuff, because the long term stuff, that's the one that eats you up.
Mhm. I mean, with that said, man, I agree with you guys, but at the same time, I want you guys to know that if you ever wanted to talk to me about anything, I would it would never be a burden for me. Like I love my friends so much, and if there's anything I can do to help them out, man, ah, I'll give you the shirt off my back if I could. So, and I would probably I would more than encourage you to try to, I'll try to help you find a solution. So, I mean, I want all of you guys to know that if anything, if you ever needed someone to talk to, even though I'm not a professional, man, that could be the first step. Feel free. I mean, feel more than comfortable to tell me about it. I would. I mean, I'm very, very discreet when it comes to these conversations, and I have no problem trying to help you go through the steps to try to find a solution. And that's just my personal view on that.
Thank you. I hope that people start waking up in terms of taking away the stigma, because, for example, I'm not embarrassed to say that I have a daughter that has depression and anxiety, and that she tried to commit suicide twice. She has posted stuff like that on Instagram to bring awareness, and I am so proud of her for doing that. Um,
Yeah.
and when it came to me seeking therapy, and for John seeking therapy, I I recommend it, because your relationship goes through so many ups and downs. Um, we're we're empty nesters. We are almost getting ready to retire, And all of those life changes, they also create an issue in terms of your mental health.
Yes, I agree.
So I I am the very first one that will say, I'm not embarrassed. Let's talk about it. Um, let's seek help.
Yep, remove the fucking stigma from it, man.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
bullshit. It's not fair for anybody to be looking down on anybody who has who's suffering or going through something, and to damn it, I can't even imagine trying to shame someone for going through something. And hillbilly again, he says all his friends are dead. My suggestion is love your friends the best that you can, and
Oh,
I have to agree
absolutely.
100%. Yeah,
Just to piggyback on what you said, Rick. I don't think people purposely try to look down or shame someone for being it. I just think they have a perception of that person, of dealing with, this person is going through something, and sometimes it impacts how you treat that person. Like, hey, well, I don't want to do this with this person because of such and such and such. No, I don't. I want to avoid this person have. I don't want to avoid. I don't want to add any more stress to this person's life. I'm not going to burden this person with stuff because they're going through such and such and such. Um,
right.
but I did want to. So we was talking, and I just wanted to put the information out there. It was an article I was reading about 10 common mistakes that we make every day on a daily basis,
Mhm.
that leads us down to poor mental health. I'm just going to go through them really quick. It's just quick 10,
Mhm.
10 tips to help going down that path. One is avoiding deep and meaningful connections like marriage, close friends, and staying in touch with family. That's a sign that someone is dealing with has poor mental health. Number two is sitting down all day. Um, as per the article, sitting down all day it can turn into harm. It can be harmful for your mental state. Um,
So exercise to counter that, right?
Exercise or just stand up and take a breather. Well, actually, the next one is never stop, just to breathe. So pretty much the article is saying that you need to just take a chill pill sometime, just relax, and and breathe.
I
And the
guess I'm
fourth one, it
putting.
says the fourth one says that um, so this is another mistake that people make. It is that they're not joining a religion or otherwise of becoming a part of a community. So if this person is always seeking isolation. Um, and number five says ignoring your creative abilities will put you on that path as well of poor mental health. Spending most of your time indoors, and I think this goes to this speaks volumes to 2020 for us. A lot of us was locked indoors due to the pandemic. Um, so it says number seven is spending your time consuming instead of contributing. So not looking, you're just consuming information. You're not looking really to contribute and talk to people. You're just bringing it all in. You're just bringing the world in, um, and not creating or talking to
I
anyone.
see.
Right. That's why this platform is dope.
Yeah, and
You be part of the process.
and number eight is working at a job that you don't love. Um, I've been here numerous of times. That can definitely contribute to poor mental health. Number nine is eating alone.
Me
Um,
too.
yeah, apparently 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 eating alone can contribute to poor mental health.
Wow.
Yeah. And number 10, believing that you're unworthy of health, happiness, and love. So those are 10 things. Those are 10 common mistakes that prevent you from being happy and healthy in 2021.
According to
I'm sorry. Oh, that's a good point. According to jamesclair.com, Health Mistakes, he is a behavior psychologist.
all right, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
We
Yes.
should
And he
do a
has
Zoom party.
a number one New York Times bestseller, uh, Atomic Habits, apparently. Uh, so incredible guy here.
That's
That's
dope.
awesome.
Yeah. So
I
That's
agree with
awesome.
a lot of those things that you mentioned. You know.
Yeah, and as you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Like when you're eating alone at home, it kind of you get that vibe. You're used to having dinner with with families and family and friends. You're eating alone, it could be lonely is one is the loneliest number. So
Yeah.
yeah. So and I think we all should take note of some of those tips and stuff like that because we do it sometimes unconsciously.
Yeah, staying home too is a big one because sometimes people like to isolate themselves from everyone else.
And right now, you don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
you can
Down.
have Zoom parties.
I mean, true, true.
it's the thing with the Zoom party is like as Rick and I were talking about earlier is I'm smiling in front of the camera. Literally, I'm smiling in front of the camera, but then when the camera goes off, it's back to World War Three with myself. So
Yeah. Kyle, definitely send me the link to that. Send me the link to that information so I can post it in the Facebook group.
okay, sure will,
Yeah.
surely will, surely will. So
Kyle, I'm still waiting for the movie, man.
yeah. Anyways, so we're not even talking about that. I'm
I'm
not here
trying to
to
quit my job here, man.
I'm not here to do a shameless plug,
Yeah.
like Rick. Um,
Nah.
so I just wanted to touch on another thing. I do understand when people you open and I see a lot of people in the comments say that they definitely here to listen. I hear you. I understand it, but I'm a person who takes on the stress of my friends.
Mhm.
So sometimes I need a break from their stress to deal with my own stress. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, always having to deal with other people's issues. And I'm not a doctor, so
Right.
so I don't. It's hard to separate. I don't. That's not my profession. I don't do it on a regular basis to celebrate. I mean
I
to
think it's
separate.
different for everybody.
So your mental health, Kyle, is you're
Priority.
you have to be honest with the people that come to you with their stuff and say, listen, I love you, man. I love you, my sister, however you call them. But I prefer for you to go and see a professional. Or is there anything else that I can do? Because you have to take care of your mental health first
Hmm.
in order for you to continue listening, to continue being a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And sometimes I tell them, sometimes I just say, man, I really not a good time for me right now.
I
This
saw a message there that said depression comes from the past.
Yeah, that's what someone said. That's what
Anxiety
Hillbilly said.
anxiety comes from the
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 future.
future.
Yeah.
I do not agree completely. Um, because there's depression that comes from things that have happened to you, but there's also the clinical depression because of a hormone imbalance.
Hmm.
And you could be going through the depression because something is not clicking um, right on your body. Also, because of situation that you're going through right now. Like my depression right now is not in the past. It's not something that happened in the past. I'm going through marital issues right now. My
Right.
anxiety comes from not knowing what's going to happen. Yes, it's in the future, but it's a situation that I'm going through right now.
No, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
got the past and present.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
so I mean Rick, I think we touched on all of our questions here.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think it was a really, really enlightening conversation, man. I'm extremely happy that we had it, man.
It's a
And
conversation that needs a part two, a part three, and a part four.
absolutely, I agree. It's an ongoing discussion. It shouldn't just be a one off. Absolutely not. We'll definitely be having
I had
more.
all my stuff prepared upstairs, thinking that it was gonna be sometime later. But when I saw
Mm.
you putting that it was about mental health, I'm like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm
No,
like,
no,
We,
we'll
let's
definitely
do
do a
it.
part two. We'll definitely do a part two, and we'll let you know with more than enough time in advance. As you can see, it was a very deep conversation. A lot of us are going through certain things that maybe other people didn't know about, and sometimes just being able to talk about it brings to light that there might be a problem, and you can start, healing and trying to figure out what's the best steps for you to, become better and take care of yourself in that manner, man.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so for those of you listening today, I hope that you found some value in this. I hope that if you're going through something that you have someone to talk to, and if you don't, don't feel ashamed to seek professional help, man. It's in your best interest. It's in the best interest of your family and friends. Everybody's going to benefit from it, especially you, man.
Yes, that's an awesome way to say it.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ricardo.
No, you got it, man. And like, again, we're not professionals here. We try to give you our life experiences, and we like to hear from your experiences as well, and we can learn from each other. So at the end of the day, we don't have to agree, but damn it, we should always talk. And with that said, man, I love you guys. Have a fantastic evening, and we will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. sharp. You guys rock. You guys make everything worth it, man.
David
Take
Chen ends now.
care.
Thank you. Have a good one.